All right, let's talk about a word you've probably seen everywhere online, brain rot. It's this feeling that's so modern, right? So in this explainer, we're going to break it all down. What it is, why you might feel it, and maybe even what to do about it. So, to see if you're living in this world of brain rot, let's just do a super quick quiz. First word up, Riz.
Okay, how about this one? Delulu.
Then we have Sigma.
And of course you know this one, Skibbity.
So, how'd you do? If you knew every single one of those, you might be feeling, I don't know, a little too online. And it probably has you asking the big question we've got right here. Do I have brain rot? Well, that's exactly what we're going to figure out. First things first, let's get a really clear definition. We need to separate the internet hype from what's actually going on. So what are we really talking about when we say brain rot?
Okay, let's get one thing straight right out of the gate, and this is super important. Brain rot is not a real medical thing. Your brain isn't, literally rotting. Nope, it's 100% internet slang, just a word people came up with to describe a very specific, very modern feeling.
But here's the crazy part. It's become so common that the Oxford English Dictionary actually named it the 2024 Word of the Year. And their definition is key. They call it a perceived loss of intelligence from consuming, well, kind of junky content. That little word, perceived, is everything. It's all about how you feel, not about some physical change happening in your brain.
But it's more than just a feeling now. A report from Ofcom found that for a lot of people, especially younger folks, brain rot is basically its own genre of content. You know the stuff I'm talking about, those super short, really loud, fast-paced videos that are just engineered to grab your attention instantly.
Okay, so if it isn't a real medical condition, why does that feeling of being stuck in a scroll feel so real? Well, the answer is all in the psychology of it all. It creates this really powerful loop.
So here's how that whole cycle works, and it's what makes you feel so stuck. It all starts so simply, right? You're just scrolling, swiping through these short, punchy videos, and with each good one, your brain gets this tiny little hit of dopamine. That's the feel-good chemical. The algorithm sees that, it goes, aha, you like that, and it immediately feeds you more of the exact same stuff. Before you know it, your mind is just stuck in this loop, always chasing that next easy little reward.
This endless loop of content doesn't just mess with our attention spans, it's literally created its own language. So let's circle back to those words from the start and decode a few of the internet's biggest inside jokes right now.
First up was Riz. This one's pretty simple. It's just a shorter way to say charisma. It's all about having that charm, that ability to attract someone. And a little fun fact, it was actually Oxford's Word of the Year in 2023, right before brain rot took the crown.
Then you've got delulu, which is just short for delusional. And this one has a cool story. It actually started out as an insult, for fans who are a little too obsessed. But what's so interesting is how it's completely flipped. Now people use it to hype themselves up. You'll hear things like, delulu is the solulu, which basically means being a little bit delusional is the solution to chasing your biggest goals.
And then there's Sigma. This term is supposed to describe a confident, independent person, usually a guy, who kind of operates outside of the whole alpha/beta social structure. We should point out, though, this one's pretty controversial. It gets linked to some pretty misogynistic online groups.
And last but not least, the infamous Skibbity. So this word comes from this bizarre animated YouTube series about a war involving singing toilets with human heads. Yeah. As a word, it basically means nothing on its own. It can mean you're happy, sad, excited. It all just depends on how you say it.
So now that we kind of get what brain rot is and what it sounds like, we can get to the really big question. Is this something we should actually be worried about? Or is it just the latest panic over new technology?
And you might think this is a brand new worry, but get this, it's not. One of the first times anyone ever wrote down the term brain rot was way back in 1854 by Henry David Thoreau, of all people. It just goes to show you every single generation seems to worry that the newest, latest thing is going to ruin everyone's minds. The debate today really breaks down into two camps. On one side, you have some real concerns from reports, like one from Ofcom where kids said they felt dizzy or grumpy and had a harder time focusing on a whole movie after watching tons of short videos. But on the other side, the argument is that the science just isn't there yet. We don't have enough solid, long-term research to say for sure that this stuff is harmful. So whether it's a legitimate problem or just a feeling, what do you do if you feel like you're stuck in that brain rot loop? Let's talk about some actual practical things you can do to kind of break that cycle.
The key to breaking out of that loop is finding a reward somewhere other than the scroll. And the good news is, the solutions are actually pretty simple. Just taking short, regular breaks from your phone. Or maybe actively deciding to watch something different, like a long documentary, or even just picking up a book. Getting up and moving your body is a huge one for a natural mood boost. And seriously, don't forget about just getting enough sleep. It's a game changer.
If you want a really direct technique to just snap out of it, try the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding method. It's designed to pull your brain out of that digital haze and back into the real world. You just stop and you name 5 things you can see around you, 4 things you can physically feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. It's a super powerful way to just reset your senses.
So that really brings us back to the big final question, doesn't it? Is brain rot, this massive modern epidemic, something created by algorithms designed to just capture us? Or is it just a new name for a very old fear? The same kind of panic every generation has about whatever new distraction comes along. The real answer? It's probably somewhere in the middle. And that's definitely something to think about the next time you find yourself scrolling.